All right, is it time to get a little concerned about these Vikings injuries, Lupagus?
Yeah, there's a couple starting to pile up. So we're going to talk about, I think, 4 different injuries and our level of concern for each one. Before we do, subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 10K. Have a hell of a giveaway to do when we hit that number. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to push that button.
Do it. Let's get to 10,000. Feels damn good. Let's start off with more of a recent one, I guess. Let's start with Jordan Addison.
Oh, wow. You didn't tell me you're going to pull in the Tecmo Bowl graphics.
Can you hear the music?
It's always like your guy who's just ripping it up too always gets hurt in that damn game. For me, it was always Rick Finney. I used to
Well, it's because he used Rick Finney every time. The big question is, if you're in a season and one of your main guys get injured, do you restart your season? I did.
You might just have to. But let's talk about Jordan Addison. The only thing that concerns me about this is that he's in concussion protocol, which means that's going to carry over to regular season. I don't know what level 2 is, but I feel like there's a good chance he could miss a game or two because of a concussion, just because he's already in it. But anything else beyond that, I'm not concerned.
Aren't they already saying he's going to be good to go by Monday?
He is, but in fact, he's in concussion protocol. I think, isn't there like a 1-2 step thing? I feel like it's like a program, and I feel like the second time, maybe it's a little bit longer, you got to stay out. So I don't like the fact that he's already in concussion protocol. He's been in it once already.
Yeah, I guess I'm not concerned. He gets another concussion down the road or in the first half of the season, whatever. I'll start to get concerned. It's football; they're going to get concussions, so yeah. No concern when it comes to Jordan Addison. But some of these other guys, I think there's might be a little more concern. And let's go with King Kenny.
Yeah, and this one, they bring in all these running backs. Just signed another one the other day, Aaron Dykes. And is it because Kenny Nwangu's injury is worse than they're letting us know? I mean, when was the last time we've even seen him on a practice field?
It's got to be. It's got to be bad. With all these injuries, it's preseason, so they really don't have to go into too much detail. It seems like everybody has a lower leg issue or a leg issue. But it's got to be. I mean, Dykes is known as a kick returner too from college. So Kenny, I'm really not expecting to see him any preseason and maybe not even the start of the season.
Yeah, it's getting to be a little concerning, the fact that he's not out there, and they're not saying what it is, but they keep kicking the tires, and not just the ones they brought in, these younger guys, but also veterans like Kareem Hunt and Mike Davis.
Yeah, and really concern level as far as just the team's success. I don't know. It doesn't really concern me that much when it comes to that. I mean, that's the bigger issue. Do these injuries impact how well the Vikings are doing with Nwangu? I mean, they had him listed pretty high up in the depth chart, but we got Ty Chandler, we got Madison, kick returns. We'll see what happens, but I'm not concerned.
No, not as far as the team goes. I'm concerned for Kenny.
That's really nice of you. The one that does kind of concern me with the team.
I'll let you start since you're already singing.
Thank you. Asamoah, come on, man. Hell yeah, I'm concerned. This dude hasn't been out there. Seems like it's forever. It was his time to just take over that Kendrick's role, him and Jordan Hicks. And he unfortunately, I think he's another one with a leg injury, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you remember what it was.
I can't, but he's missing some prime time here, and Ivan Pace is taking advantage of it. Asamoah is looked at as the face of this inside linebacker crew moving forward, and he's taking a huge step back.
And he's the assumed starter since day one of this 2023 season, started back in March. But you got to remember, he's not very experienced either. He needs reps. He needs preseason reps. He needs practice reps this year. Ivan Pace I wouldn't be surprised if he's ahead of him now on the depth chart, because Asamoah has fallen so far behind. I mean, what's the last time he was out there?
Yeah, he's a dude that, like, I would expect him to play a majority of most of the preseason games. Like, he needs to be out there. He needs to get his Peter wet, his feet wet, whatever we want to get wet. And he needs the experience. I hate this one. I hate this one the most out of all of these, because we have such high expectations for him, and he's going to be behind the ball.
Well, the fact we don't know, I mean, hopefully this isn't anything that's going to keep him out or put him on PUP or IR or something like that, where you're going to lose him for an extended period of time, because really the depth here is not overly reassuring.
Just think, 2 years down the road, Brian Asamoah and Ivan Pace just leading this linebacker crew to Super Bowl victory.
My Peter just got wet.
Woo-wee! All right, last one. Jalen Nailor.
Yeah, he was out there the first practice of minicamp or training camp, and then we haven't heard anything since. I think it's a leg injury with him as well. But here's the thing with Jalen Nailor. I mean, honestly, of all these guys, if someone ends up getting IR, I wouldn't be surprised if it was him. You have other options here. Brandon Paul's ripping up. Jalen Reagor's had a nice camp. Trishan Jackson's back making plays yesterday against the Titans. A beautiful catch in the back of the end zone. And you got N'Keal Harry, this big target, who's doing pretty good since he came in here. So if it's an injury that's going to linger, just throw him on IR.
Yeah,
We're
O'Connell
okay.
keeps saying they're being cautious with them. It's not that big of a deal. They're being cautious. I don't believe it. I think it's more than just cautious. If it's cautious, he'd be doing something.
Yeah.
And he's not doing anything. So Naylor, kind of like with Nwangu, it's a nice bonus piece, but I don't think it really hurts how well this team's gonna do, especially the offensive side of the ball. We're so damn low. And Jackson, like you said, Jackson is going to take a lot of advantage on this one.
Yeah, there's other options they can go with. Jalen there was going to be that fourth receiver, likely. I mean, that's where everybody kind of figures he's going to end up. You're not as high as him as most people are, but really looked at as the fourth receiver. I mean, what's the fourth receiver going to get in this offense unless someone gets hurt? Not a whole lot of looks, maybe a couple targets a game. So as far as the team goes, yeah, it isn't going to hurt the team much, but it just sucked for Jalen Naylor, a guy who was having great mini camp and was expected to have a really good training camp too.
Yeah, so those are the main injuries, the ones that have been lingering. We won't talk about TJ Hawkinson's maybe made up ear infection, whatever it is. But let us know, comments, which one of these concern you the most, if any.
Yeah, and also remember this. While filming The Wizard of Oz, Judy Garland was subjected to a strict diet of chicken soup, black coffee, and 80 cigarettes per day by MGM, along with amphetamines to work and barbiturates for sleep. By the time 17-year-old Garland finished filming, she was addicted to everything.